Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Hey wife, did you know that Anchor is sponsoring our show?
Really? Don't we use Anchor to distribute our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, and we are on just about every other platform available as well, thanks to them.
Why do we use Anchor as our podcasting service?
Well, they make editing and distributing our show a breeze.
What if one of our listeners wants to start their own podcast?
Then they should head over to anchor.fm or download the app to get started.
Awesome! You guys should go do that right now! Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember what happened last Friday?
Jehu decided that he wanted to kill a lot of fuckers.
He sure as fuck did.
And then he killed a lot of fuckers.
Oh my god, he killed so many people.
Right?
He was like, hey, all of you people that worship Baal, get up in here.
Yeah.
Let's have a party.
And then I'm going to kill you, ass. And I'm going to say, hey, God wanted this done, so I did it. You know, what's up, man? And then it turns out that God didn't really like the dude.
Didn't he?
He was bad in God's eye, according to, the Bible. So
he got rid of,
he did God's work by killing a lot of people. And then
he got rid of a lot of pagans.
And then God was like, I don't really like this guy either. So
I know. I mean, thank you, but no.
Right? Yeah. That was basically what happened last week, right?
I mean, you can be a bad guy and do good things.
Yeah.
Just as well as you can be a good guy and do bad things.
But that was some pretty bad shit.
He murdered so many people.
Right? Yeah, it was
Lots
ridiculous.
of blood on his hands.
Well, anyway, that was 2 Kings chapter 10.
It sure as fuck was.
And today we're getting into
2 Kings chapter 11.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie.
Hey, wife, do you like coffee in the morning?
I sure do, husband. Morning, noon, night. Which reminds me, I need to add that to our grocery list because we're running low.
Wait, before you do that, check out the website ungodlybrew.com where you can purchase a pound of your favorite flavor of coffee.
What if I want more than 1 pound?
Either order a larger amount or better yet, get 10% off by setting up a subscription for every 2 weeks or a month or whatever works for you.
Did you set up something special for our listeners?
You know I did. Exclusive for our listeners, get an additional 10% off subscriptions by entering the code SACRILEGIOUSCOFFEE at checkout.
That's a hellishly good deal.
Ungodly Brew is hellishly good coffee.
Okay, 2 Kings chapter 11.
Okay.
When Athaliah? Or Athaliah. I bet it's Athaliah.
That sounds better. I like that better.
Yeah, okay, let's go with that. When Athaliah, the mother of King Ahaziah of Judah, learned that her son was dead.
Yeah, because Jehu killed every motherfucker on the planet. Probably.
Right. She began to destroy the rest of the royal family.
Oh.
Was it destroy, like, you know how if you write something that's like a sick burn on Twitter and they're like, whoa, boom, you destroyed them, or do they mean destroy,
no, I
like
think they
murder?
Destroyed in another, murder.
In the murdery way.
Generally when we're in the Bible, it's murder.
Right.
So.
But we use destroy so willy-nilly now.
We do.
I thought it was funny, like in my head, she destroyed them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
But Ahaziah's sister hold on. Let's try this again. Jehosheba,
okay.
the daughter of King Jehoram, took Ahaziah's infant son Joash, too many J words.
Right, yeah.
And stole him away from among the rest of the king's children who were about to be killed.
Oh, so
she had a baby.
One survives. One
baby.
I see.
A little Moses type of baby.
Was it in a wicker basket floating down the stream?
I don't know. She put Joash and his nurse in a bedroom, and they hid him from Athaliah. Is that what we decided it was?
Sure. Yeah. Let's just go with it. Athaliah.
Okay. So the child was not murdered. So no, he wasn't in a basket. He was in a bedroom.
Surely there's going to be a reason for this, right? This kid's going to turn into something important, or just we'll never hear about him again.
Joash remained hidden in the temple of the Lord for 6 years.
Holy shit.
While Athaliah ruled over the land.
Okay.
So.
All right. Apparently Athaliah is like on a rampage.
She's
and just
killing willy-nilly.
And ruling
and stuff. She's a king.
Yeah.
King.
Or maybe it's,
king
are you sure it's a she? Was it a she for sure?
She's a mom.
Oh, yeah, that's
her
right.
son.
No, I'm just... A woman ruling just doesn't fit in my head with the Bible. That's all.
I get it.
That's why I was trying to double check.
No, she's the mom.
Okay.
And she's like, you killed my son, prepare to die. In the 7th year of Athaliah's reign, Jehoiada.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know I killed that.
Yeah, no,
the
it's
priest.
Right. We're all used to it by now.
Fuck off. Jehoiada the priest summoned the commanders, the Karaite mercenaries, and the palace guards to come to the temple of the Lord. I have no idea who those people are.
Right.
But she summoned them.
We're going to find out probably. Let me first, yeah.
Or he summoned them. Jehoiada the priest summoned these guys.
Okay. Yep.
He made a solemn pact with them and made them swear an oath of loyalty there in the Lord's temple. Then he showed them the king's son. Oh. Jehoiada told them, this is what you must do. A third of you who are on duty on the Sabbath are to guard the royal palace itself. Another third of you are to stand guard at the Sur Gate. Sur Gate.
Sir what? At the what gate?
S-U-R. Sur Gate.
Sir Gate.
Not like, Sir.
Right, not Sir, yeah.
Sir Good Enough. And the final third must stand guard behind the palace guard.
Okay.
These 3 groups will all guard the palace, which is literally what I just fucking said.
Right. Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, they like to repeat. So
they do.
It is a thing. Yeah.
The other 2 units who are off duty on the Sabbath must stand guard for the king at the Lord's temple.
So then they're not off duty then.
Right.
Their day off is fucked.
Right. That time totally when you're on call 24/7 the rest of your life. Sounds like corporate America.
This is bullshit. I don't want to guard today. And my day off. I was going to go to the beach.
Did you hear about all of that shit with the Amtrak workers? The railroad
know that
workers?
They were on strike. But
yeah, you know why they were on strike? They were not allowed to even call off, like, for a doctor's appointment.
Oh, yeah.
And they had zero idea the next time that they would have any day off, so they couldn't plan anything with their family.
Wow.
And then I was like, that sucks, but it sounds a lot like most jobs that you've had that aren't railroad work, like that's retail.
Generally mine.
Yeah, that's retail. Like,
now that being said, I kind of like my job. So
no, you do like your job, but having said that, there's no given time when I can say, hey, let's plan this for a couple weeks from now.
Right, because something might come up.
And even if something doesn't come up, there's a meeting, even though it falls on your day off, even a vacation day, you'd still have to sign in.
Not on vacation days.
Really?
Vacation days, I don't have to sign in.
Really?
Really.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Call me Mr. Silly Pants. Form a bodyguard, he continues to these guys.
Or their day off, they're forming a bodyguard.
Around the king, and keep your weapons in hand. The king baby kid.
Because the king can't fight for himself yet.
Because he's only
young.
7.
Right, yeah.
Kill anyone who tries to break through. Stay with the king wherever he goes. Now, let me ask you this. He's in hiding. A 7-year-old kid in hiding. Yeah. But he's got a phalanx of fucking warriors
so
all around him.
That well right
he's
now.
Not in hiding anymore.
But this might be them just taking action all at once. Like maybe they're like, okay, we're making a move now. We're doing something.
And while we're doing it, you guys guard him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like maybe nobody knew until now. Like maybe this is like a thing that's happening right now. Or right then.
I just think these people are dumb. So I just think they're probably not doing that.
Okay. Well, I don't
know.
There's one way to find out, right?
Yes, keep reading. This is me just giving you my live take, okay?
No, I got it.
So the commanders did everything as Jehoiada the priest ordered. The commanders took charge of the men reporting for duty that Sabbath, as well as those who were going off duty. They brought them all to Jehoiada the priest, and he supplied them with the spears and small shields, not big shields, small shields that had once belonged to King David and were stored in the temple of the Lord.
Those are pretty old at this point, right?
Damn, no wonder they're small. The palace guard.
Is the giant shit still there? Like, if I was like one of those guys, I'd be like, hey, I know, you're handing this stuff out, but where's the giant thing at?
Where's the good one?
I want David's good one. Yeah, that one was the one I want.
Those are probably all done, melted down.
Right, yeah.
The palace guards stationed themselves around the king with their weapons ready. They formed a line from the south side of the temple around to the north side and all around the altar.
If somebody didn't have a clue that there was something going on, at this point, there's definitely
That's what I'm saying.
Something going on.
They're drawing attention to him if they wanted him to remain hidden.
Right, which is why I'm like, they better be doing something right now because, otherwise... They've just said, hey, we're here.
Right, they just put a target on this kid.
Right.
Then Jehoiada brought out Joash, the king's son, and placed the crown on his head.
Because that's important. That right there, that always makes a king official.
Whoa.
You see, you're not a king until that piece of metal goes on your head.
And presented him with a copy of God's laws. They anointed him and proclaimed him king.
Wait, they had copies of God's laws?
Sure. Why not?
Why were they always breaking them then?
Because I told you they're fucking stupid. They found the ark and they dug them out.
Oh, okay. Maybe they were lost up until now. They're like, oh shit! It was in my closet this whole time.
We totally forgot. They anointed him and proclaimed him king, and everyone clapped their hands and shouted, "Long live the king!"
Ah,
this is weird timing with King Charles III taking the throne, and everybody's like, Queen Elizabeth, God rest her soul.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be usurping a queen here, probably. Yeah. So, the queen...
That's what I'm saying. This is funny timing.
Taking over,
Right?
Right.
Yeah. When Athaliah heard the noise made by the palace guards and the people, she hurried to the Lord's temple to see what the fuck was happening. Wait.
She was close enough to hear the fucking noise?
She's in the temple.
Right, but there's a fucking army forming just outside of where she's at.
Yeah, but the people are cheering.
Okay.
She's like, what the fuck's going on over there?
Yeah, all right.
So they're in the same
there will be
area.
No happiness in my reign. What the fuck's going on?
Well, if you hear, where we live at the beginning of the parades that go through our little town.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we don't know when a parade is happening, but we
always end up knowing.
Right. So we always start hearing, the honk honk, beep beep and all that shit and the band and stuff. And we're like,
The band's what gets me. I'm like, there's not usually a drum line outside my door, but apparently today.
There's a parade. So then we, go outside to see what the fuck is happening. Yeah. That's what is happening here for her. She's like, I didn't call for a parade today.
Sometimes I'm like, is it a fucking holiday today? Why are we having a parade?
Oh, you know what? That reminds... Okay, that's totally off topic, as I do.
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember, at the beginning of the pandemic when our local
teachers?
School...
Yeah.
The teachers put together... this little parade, and they came through. It was I literally cried. I was not expecting to cry
because it was right at the height of the pandemic. Right at the beginning of the height of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And no one was able to see the teachers, and there was all this online stuff starting up.
Yeah, it was scary. It was scary times.
Right. Yeah,
we did not know what the fuck was happening.
It was very heartwarming. It was really cool that they did that.
So. Well, we kind of knew it was coming, but we forgot about it. We didn't plan it or anything. But I said, we always hear it. And so I heard it and ran down and was like, oh shit, you guys, it's the school parade. And you guys were like, whatever.
Right.
And then I was like, oh my God. And you guys came because I was excited.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was excited, but then...
Well, because we hadn't really... you couldn't go out and see people.
Right.
You didn't... I don't know. It was just something...
So then we're standing on our porch and we're watching all of these teachers, and a lot of the teachers, because our school district is so small, even though our kid had moved from public school into online public school, they'd known Abby since kindergarten. And so
and they were
just waving hey, and
oh my gosh, I hardly recognized you.
They really, remembered, really, and it was just so heartwarming. And
it was,
and I cried.
It was.
I did. I'll never forget that.
It was great. No.
It was one of those "where were you when" and "do you remember when" kind of moments.
Definitely.
Okay, sorry, that was totally off topic, but parades. Got it. So she hears this fucking parade.
Yes.
And she's like, what the hell? When she arrived, she saw the newly crowned king, the 7-year-old kid, standing in his place of authority by the pillar, as was the custom at times of coronation. The commanders and trumpeters were surrounding him, and the people from all over the land were all over the land.
Yeah.
They were all rejoicing and blowing trumpets. They had some good Twitter going on back then if they were all over the land cheering.
That news spread like fucking wildfire.
They knew before she did.
They were like, get this bitch out of power. We want this guy.
Mm-hmm.
What?
When Athaliah saw all this, she tore her clothes in despair and shouted, "Treason! Treason!" Then Jehoiada the priest ordered the commanders who were in charge of the troops, "Take her to the soldiers in front of the temple and kill anyone who tries to rescue her."
Yeah. Because what?
Because kill her is why. Because killing is cool.
Right. If this is all it took, like, why didn't they do this sooner?
I don't know.
Like, they just, like, hey, let's kill her.
Like, you didn't even have to have a kid. You could have just, pretended. Like, let's all just have a parade and pretend that there's something going on just to draw her out. And when she gets here, just kill her.
Right.
And there doesn't even have to be any king there at all. For the priest had said she must not be killed in the temple of the Lord. So,
I mean, they kill lots of things in the temple of the Lord,
but
mostly
those are sacrificial.
Animals. Right.
This would be murderous.
Okay. I guess that matters.
You can only murder pagans in the temple.
Technically, at some point back early on, they were like, never murder. But then it was shortly after that they started murdering people in God's name. And we're like, wait, is it never murder or just only murder when God says
I have
murder?
A theory about that.
Okay.
You have to believe that the people that you're talking about are actually human beings.
Oh.
And I guess that they probably did not view the pagans as human beings, much as the early white folk, talked about slavery by not viewing Africans as humans, subhumans.
This reminds me. Yeah, I'm going to go off a little bit on a subject here as well. I was just listening to a podcast today. It was, I think, Reveal. Don't quote me on that, but they were talking about how slavery went into past the 14th Amendment. Like after the 14th Amendment was passed, they introduced, the slavery was basically in the jailhouses. Yeah. So they passed laws that still allowed slavery, but you had to be in jail in order to do it.
And that's still on the books.
Right. And this story is tracking down like the early roots of that and who was involved and who, and they're tracing the roots back to different people. And it was a really, really neat story. I'm not doing it justice. So like if you have a chance to look it up, it's one of the NPR productions like Reveal or Throughline or something like that. Yeah. But it was really, really nice episode and it was really cool. So they're doing a whole series apparently on it. So anyway, that was that.
No, I find that whole topic interesting. Like I remember shock and disgust when I learned that the police were originally formed as a way of capturing escaped slaves.
Yeah,
that is the roots of American police.
As much as I dislike some social media these days, as far as like how it breaks us all apart, it has also brought to light so many things that I would have never known about without it.
Right.
That, there's the good and the bad, right? Like we all live in our own little bubbles of some type, right?
Sure.
And it's been nice in my lifetime to recognize that there are these other bubbles that I didn't know about and to learn about them and understand where people are coming from better. Like that's what I really enjoy about online communities and things like that. So.
Yeah, toward that end, an argument that I've been seeing is that, like on Black Twitter, you'll see a lot of people say, we've been telling you this for ages. And it's not that I doubt that. I'm sure that they have been. But the problem is that before social media, I was not ever in a position to hear that they've been telling me this for ages.
Yeah.
And it's nice that I finally believe them. It's not that I didn't believe them that these things were happening.
You just never even
I
knew
never even knew.
Right.
So that's one way I'm so grateful for social media to bring this kind of stuff to light. And I wish that it didn't even have to be there in the first place.
Well, obviously. Yeah. No,
right.
These stories are that they bring out are just terrible and it's hard for me to believe, but obviously I do believe them. When I say it's hard for me to believe, I'm just shocked. Like the stories are so appalling to me that I'm like, why is this not like front page news every fucking day?
Right.
I don't get it. Like this is insane.
And well, we've talked about this before too, where when we say it's hard to believe, what we mean is it's hard to reconcile with the idea of America that we grew up with as children versus what we learn more and more and more as adults. I mean, it's why we're so.
I think we talked a lot about that on our 50th episode podcast, where we kind of went into depth a little bit about why we're doing this and who we are and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's hard to reconcile versus what we grew up with and knew growing up.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah,
that
sure.
whole, proud to be an American.
Yeah, the Lee Greenwood version of America. Right.
Right.
Yep.
Sorry, we really
Way
went off
on
topic.
a tangent there.
As we do.
Right.
So they seized her. The guards seized Athaliah.
Yeah.
And led her out to the gate where horses entered the palace grounds, and she was killed there.
Okay.
So they did
thank
kill
God
her.
they made it to the fucking palace gates and killed her there. Yeah, that's so much better than the temple.
You know what? I have no problem with that, honestly.
But man, that was a quick usurping.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, well, form up. Dead.
Right.
She must not have been wielding much power, but she seemed like she was. She was killing a lot of people for like 6 or 7 years.
Right.
And then just out of nowhere, they're like, we're going to go kill her now.
Right. They clearly didn't like her.
I guess, yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, if she was murderous, but had a lot of supporters because otherwise she was doing great things.
Yeah.
They would have let that shit slide.
Right.
But not only was she murderous, she was obviously not well loved.
Right.
So,
I mean, if she was
you
just
can
more,
only be Meghan McCain so much before somebody's going to come for you.
I guess she should have been more like Jehu, who just killed fucking everybody.
Across the board. Then Jehoiada made a covenant between the Lord and the king and the people that they would be the Lord's people.
Well, I mean, it's about time.
I know,
they
right?
haven't been the Lord's people for like eons.
Decades, centuries.
Right, yeah.
He also made a covenant between the king and the people. And all the people of the land went over to the temple of Baal and tore it down.
Oh, wow. Well, I got to ask here, though. You can't really sign a contract until you're 18. This kid's like 7 years old.
Okay, you're talking about American rules in 2022.
I'm just saying.
This is fucking BCE.
You're making a 7-year-old basically sign a God contract, right? And what the fuck does he know? He doesn't even know, like, what's God,
Okay,
like,
clearly this is his caretakers
I know.
doing this.
Yeah.
And they tore down Baal's temple.
Right, badass.
Which is...
I guess.
Yeah, for a second, I'm like, yeah, go team. And then I'm like, wait, I'm not really on your team, though.
No, I don't give a... you all are just killing each other all the time because
your religion's
of your gods.
not a lot better.
Wow, you're all stupid.
Right, but, I forget. I get excited,
well, because we're reading the Bible. We're reading it from the winner's perspective, right? So, we're reading it from the side that wants us to cheer for this team.
Right.
So we're like, yay. Oh, wait, no, I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. They demolished the altars and smashed the idols to pieces, and they killed Matan, the priest of Baal. Okay, there's a Q&A.
Yeah, who the fuck is that guy?
Matan, the priest of Baal.
They mentioned him by name, so he must be somebody.
In front of the altars. Okay, I'll be looking that dude up for Q&A Saturday.
Definitely.
Jehoiada,
make sure you take a note this time.
Fuck off. Jehoiada the priest stationed guards at the temple of the Lord. Then the commanders, the Karaite mercenaries, the palace guards, and all the people of the land escorted the king from the temple of the Lord. Period. Sorry. That sentence was weird.
Okay.
And the period was on the next line.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So I was thinking it was still going and period. They went through the gate of the guards and into the palace, and the king took his seat on the royal throne.
I wonder how big, how small he was in the seat.
This little boy on this
I'm
big
imagining Joffrey from
I know, right?
What was that show? The
Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. Yeah, sorry, it's been a while since we watched it.
Jesus.
Yeah, just real small kid there sitting on the throne.
I know, and well, we've mentioned the show now, so just while we're here real quick, do you have any interest in watching the new one?
Not particularly.
It's a prequel, House of the Dragon or some shit.
If I started watching it, I probably would watch it, but I don't have any direct interest in it, I guess.
Have you heard any, usually you'll come home and be like, people at work are talking about it, we gotta watch it.
I have not heard anybody talking about it.
What was it, the lion... No, what was it? The Tiger King.
Oh, God, everybody started talking about that.
That's what I'm saying.
That was at the beginning of the pandemic, and we were just looking for anything to watch.
No, I know, but you came home and I was like, I'm not doing it. And you were like, but everybody's talking about it. And I was like, absolutely not. And then you were like, they're talking about it. And then I kept hearing everybody on all the podcasts I listened to were talking. I was like, God damn it, I guess I'm watching the fucking Tiger King.
Yeah, I know, right?
So I was just curious.
Forced into that one.
That and The Mandalorian.
Oh,
same thing.
I do not like The Mandalorian.
That show.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, look.
We've got 3 sentences left, but no, let's do this.
So, like, the Mandalorian, right? Like, the scenery, as far as, like, the Star Wars world, was so fucking cool. Like, it had
really good.
It had a lot of potential with, like, the set and everything.
I even kind of like the characterization that this is the way.
Yeah, but the story was just, like, so...
It was the script. I don't think it was the story was okay. It was the script.
Yeah, it just felt like we were watching, like, Hercules or Xena or something.
That's exactly
like
what it felt like.
The 3 in the morning, stupid shows that are on.
It's fun, but it's stupid.
Okay, not that I didn't enjoy watching Hercules when there was nothing else on. But it's still fucking Hercules.
When you're watching Hercules and Xena, and you know what? Let's not even talk about Hercules because Kevin Sorbo can totally eat my ass, okay?
Yeah, totally.
But, Lucy Lawless is the bomb, okay?
Right.
So let's forget Hercules and only talk about Xena.
Yeah, okay, no more. We will never mention Hercules again.
Ever again.
Yeah.
Okay? So Xena is the funnest and coolest show, right?
Yeah.
But even at the end of that, you're like, that was silly and fun.
Right.
That was silly and dumb, but fun.
Yeah, but like Mandalorian tried to take itself more serious.
That's the problem. I was like, you got to pick a lane.
Yeah, you can't do that when you're not serious. So
yeah.
Just whatever. Get over yourselves, guys.
Yeah. And while we're on the topic of Star Wars, I didn't love the what's his name? The one that came after that. Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't love that.
It wasn't. I was all right with it.
I liked it better than The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
but that's not saying a lot. I didn't care for it. I didn't think it was great.
I think that Disney is just out to make a buck off the fucking Star Wars franchise.
Yes, they
is
are.
what I think. So,
yes, they are.
But whatever. That's my take. I'm sure we'll probably lose like 20 people that listen to our podcast over this because, Star Wars. Because Star Wars.
I mean, if you're going to not listen to our podcast
There's a lot of better
reasons. Disagree
Yeah.
about Star Wars. Yeah. Like, okay, but Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie ever. And I'm just I'll go to my death on that.
Okay.
Rogue One brought me to tears because I am a sucker for personal sacrifice, and those people, they gave their lives.
Here, I'll lose us some followers. My favorite character is Jar Jar Binks.
Fuck off. No, it's not. He's lying. Nobody likes Jar Jar Binks. Fuck off. Oh my god. Oh, there's a new Star Wars show starting soon called Andor. Are you interested?
I mean, if I at this point, because there's so many of them coming out, I'm almost going to wait for people to say that one's awesome or something, right?
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
So we had 3 sentences left.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, we had to talk about Star Wars for a minute.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's important. That's important shit.
Right. So they put the kid on the throne.
On the royal throne.
The royal throne. What was it called in Game of Thrones? It was
the sword. I don't remember.
Sword. No.
Sword throne. The blade of sword of the throne of blades. Throne of.
What the fuck was it called?
I don't know.
God damn it!
I don't remember.
Skulls and swords and bones and skeletons and shields and what the fuck was it called?
Are we going to get to these last 3 sentences or just talk about the goddamn throne?
I need to know what that throne was called.
Well, we'll look it up later and then we'll just come back and let people know.
Okay. Well,
tomorrow.
They're yelling at us right now going,
it's blah, 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 idiot. God damn it. God damn, what's wrong with you?
I know. Sorry. I'm not a real fan. Whatever. So all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was peaceful because Athaliah had been killed at the king's palace. Joash was 7 years old when he became king. The end.
Okay.
That's happened.
Yeah, they rejoiced. Yay.
Yay. Kid king
More dead people.
Bomb.
And we have a kid as a king.
Woot, woot.
It's going to be good times. And
the Dalai Lama is...
We'll live happily ever after until we don't, and then God will hate this kid too or something. So
yeah,
yay.
I'm sure that he will do bad and do evil in the Lord's eyes.
Yeah, because they all fucking do, apparently.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Nobody can be David.
No, yeah,
fuck David.
David was kind of shit too. I'm just saying.
He was a lot of shit.
We went over that when he was in king too. So, but yeah, that's pretty much that.
Yeah.
All right. So that was 2 Kings chapter 11, and tomorrow we will be back with
2 Kings chapter 12.
We'll see you guys then.
Peace out.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end.
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my god. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.